me.
That's what happened to me last time.
Yeah, I got to do that at the house. All right. What's going on, y'all? It's Brian and Fearless with the Trial and Error. I happen to be out and about, and I was over in Bellevue, so I swung by Fearless, and that's what we're doing today.
Boom.
And so today we're actually having an off-air conversation, trying to decide what we were going to talk about. And so we decided the cost of chasing too many ideas. But the crux of what we were saying before is this. And I'll give them a little bit of conversation.
Yeah, please.
And it goes into something I've mentioned on a live stream. I might have mentioned it on here, where Fearless said something that I've said before, where I don't have enough info to form an opinion about that. And so we're sitting there talking about what's going on with the Supreme Court and executive overreach. And I'm a political nerd, so I kind of live and breathe some of this stuff. And even I said that there's not enough information because the most latest thing is essentially we are racial profiling is cool again. And so the Supreme Court basically said, yeah, we can do racial profiling. And so I haven't read the entire docket. I know that the dissenting judges had opinions on it, but I haven't had a chance to read the opinions that are supporting of it. And I don't think the judges that did vote for it actually released an opinion on it, which is not usual. That's atypical. And I'm a journalism nerd, so I know this kind of stuff too.
Yeah,
and so
okay.
I don't have enough information because that's what I went to school for. I don't have enough information to accurately talk about it, but we're initially going to talk about, executive overreach and what the new, surviving the presidency and surviving administration change and all that other stuff. We'll probably have that conversation at another point. But
I do have a question though.
What's up?
So, and I think that you are actually the person to talk to about this because the simple fact is that you are a journalism major.
Right.
So, and then you're saying that you don't have enough information to really form an objective opinion on this.
I would even say a coherent opinion.
Coherent opinion. Okay, better. So, but how is it that other people would hear or read that clickbait and then jump to a conclusion, call up their friends and say, hey, this is what's going on. They're legalizing search and frisk. They're legalizing racial profile. How is it that were you like that before? When you read something or you see something, you automatically say, stop, let me hold up, go read that information, dissect it, and then form an opinion. Whereas other people, they see it and form their opinion right then and there.
Part of it comes from that's what I went to college for.
Okay.
My quick history. So I started out, I had a full ride scholarship, and I was a construction engineering major, a full ride academic scholarship. And I realized about 6 months in, I hated construction engineering. And I just said, I'm done with engineering, period.
Okay.
And so I'm like, what else do I want to do? At the time, I had just started working in the radio station.
Okay.
And Facebook issue.
Yeah, this happened to me last time too.
And so what happened is, go live. Sorry, trying to get Facebook up and running here.
See, mine's doing the same thing. I think it's something with Facebook, broski.
Yep. So, because I had to go ahead and restart the whole thing.
Okay, let's restart it.
Well, I'll just refresh the page. All right, hopefully we're live still. It looks like we're live still, but Facebook's throwing a temper tantrum.
Still,
I'm about to pull it up and see. But no, I went to school for all this stuff, and so initially, I was like everybody else, where I would form an opinion, and sometimes I still fall victim to it. But outside of starting out for journalism. and having like almost 3.5 years of that
Okay.
schooling before I had to get a job and actually start working. I also went into human services, which is residential care, case management, working inside homes with kids and families. And so, surprisingly, I actually had to really fine tune that muscle because it's easy to form opinions based on general assessments of information of people. And I was training my workers to not do that.
Okay.
I was training my workers, do not draw any definite conclusions about what this family does or how they function or what they do. Even 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 if they tell you this is exactly what it is, reserve opinion for as long as you can. So that you can come in here with a fresh set of eyes, because once you lock in on a specific way of thinking or you have a specific perspective on someone or somebody, it makes you blind to things that you're not paying attention to.
Okay.
And so I was really trying to teach my workers how not to fall victim to that inattentive blindness. I even put them through, like I even made them listen to chapters out of the Invisible Gorilla.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, The Invisible Gorilla is a book that talks about we can only pay attention to things that we're aware of. Just like how you can look at your watch and you can look at your watch and still not know what time it is because you just really looked at your watch. You didn't pay attention to what the time said.
Right.
So, and the Invisible Gorilla is actually a test. It's like it's a cognitive science test. I can pull it up if I wanted to. And basically, what it does is it's a matter of it demonstrates how we aren't aware of things that we're not looking for. And so I was trying to condition my workers to not go in with a perspective on something or an opinion on something or a family or a household, because then they ignore sometimes there are even safety issues. Because you walk in, these people gave me great vibes. I think they're fine. I don't know why we're in here. And then you ignore big glaring safety things because you're not paying attention to them, because you're not looking for them. And so
is that like a part of scotoma?
I don't know what scotoma is.
So scotoma is sorry. Move. Scotoma. Let me find it right quick. Sorry.
But I'll pull up the book because there's a book too. It's called The Invisible Gorilla. See, it's a cognitive science. It's a book about cognitive science, and basically, it's one of the main points is they have an entire chapter about why eyewitness testimony has been debunked for 40 years.
Okay.
And one questioning why police departments and courts still utilize it, because it's scientifically been debunked time and time and time.
Kind of like a lie detector test.
Yeah. And to the point where it should be inadmissible in court, because eyewitness testimony, people assume that our memory is kind of like this microfiche where it just stores snapshots and stuff, and it stores accurately. And the reality is our memory is manufactured on the spot every time we recall something.
Right, because we delete, distort, and generalize information. So every time you think about something, you have to recreate all of it in order to hold that picture or that video or that movie in your mind. You're reconsidering it constantly.
Yeah.
So scotoma, real fast. Scotoma is a blind spot or area of vision. So like if you're looking for your keys and you go in and you're like, oh my gosh, where's my keys at? Your keys are in your pocket the whole entire time, or they're sitting right on the table, and you can't see it. All goes right there.
Right.
Right. So it's a part of a blind spot or the area of vision, but a lot of times it's a blind spot of the mind. Not necessarily that the eyes can't see it; it's that the brain doesn't notice it.
Right.
So
that's kind of what it is. So I'm gonna play this, and I probably gave up the game, but here I want you to look at this one.
Okay. Please.
And so this is the experiment that they ran.
The monkey business illusion.
Count many times the players in white pass the ball. Let me get rid of this little thing on there. All right, and it paused. How many times the players in white wearing pass the ball.
Count how many times the players wearing white pass the ball. The correct answer is 16 passes.
I saw the 8.
Yeah.
Did you spot the gorilla?
Yes.
He
He walked
walked
through.
Yeah.
I walked
For
off.
people who haven't
But
seen or heard about a video
half the
like
people miss
this
the gorilla,
before,
but there's another
about
thing.
half missed the
There's
gorilla.
a couple more things.
If you knew about the gorilla, you probably
Did you
saw
notice the
it.
color?
But did you notice the curtain changing color or the player on the black team leaving the game?
I don't think I noticed the person leaving.
Let's rewind and watch it again. Here comes the gorilla, and there goes a player, and the curtain is
right,
changing from red to gold.
Thing left the fucking.
And the curtain changed.
Yeah, because it was red before and now it's
When
gold.
you're looking for a gorilla, you often miss other unexpected events. And that's the monkey business illusion.
So
Learn more about this
there's
illusion
an entire
and the
book,
original gorilla
like,
experiment
this
at
book is based on that experiment.
theinvisiblegorilla.com.
Because this is the Daniel Simons thing, and so there's an entire book.
So is it? So what is this based on? Is it based on what we focus on?
Yes, you only can pay attention to the things that you're looking for. And sometimes people go in looking for one thing and they ignore 5 other things that happen.
They're ignoring everything else.
Yes. And so that's what I was trying to condition my workers to do, especially when you're in homes and you're kind of assessing for safety risks and stuff and parenting capacities. If you're going in with this idea that, oh yeah, these parents are great, everything's wonderful, I don't know why we're here, you can ignore the things that may have got them in there. You may ignore recurrences of things.
Okay.
And so I had to condition I went to college and I was kind of conditioned, but it's an ongoing thing where there are plenty of times where I say, I don't know enough about this thing. I need to reserve opinion. There's elements of this that I am not fully aware of, and I'm checking to see if we're still live on Facebook. Elements of it that we're completely and totally unaware of, elements of this thing. And as a result of us not being fully aware of it, we're going to miss those things. I don't think Facebook's connected at all.
No, it's not.
So,
because they usually tell me on my phone too. Like, no, we're not at all.
oh, this sucks. All right. Well, I'm gonna try to reconnect you. So, anyway, y'all. StreamYard I've always said this, and I constantly say this. StreamYard is not necessarily making its case. It a lot of times. See, yeah, it's still Facebook. StreamYard isn't 100% making its case
towards what?
Towards
keeping it?
Towards keeping it. I'm always looking for other options. And what we had was a great piece of software, and then they started fiddle farting around with it, and now
fiddle farting.
and now
fiddle farting.
Fiddle farting around with it.
It's fiddle farting.
We're still in the early part. I'm trying not to curse too much. We can do that in about 5 minutes.
I love fiddle farting.
But I'm gonna try running an update on this. So if we disappear for a second, we're gonna come right back. But StreamYard's kind of playing around and tinkering with it, always adding new features and stuff, but they aren't really making sure the existing features work well. Because I keep talking about like how my internet drops out and stuff. Only time it really drops out is when I'm on All right, so we're back again.
Yeah.
Guys, I apologize, but this is StreamYard's kind of acting temperamental. So anyway, what Fearless was asking, and to catch y'all up, he was asking about how do you discipline yourself to not form opinions? And I think my contention is in a 24-hour news cycle where we constantly have news being beamed into our faces 24 hours, 7 days a week. And a lot of the news that you see, even if you're watching one of those 24-hour news channels, it's just giving you blurbs. It's not really giving you information. It's not actually giving you news. It's not telling you what the situation is. It's just a one-word sentence as a blurb of something that's happening. I think we become addicted to generating opinions. And we're addicted to people that generate opinions. Like people watch Tucker Carlson and all those other shows where it's literally, and Rachel Maddow, where it's literally somebody just fomenting opinions and just firing them off the top of their head. And so we're so addicted to having opinions that we assume that if I can draw an opinion on something really quickly, then I must be right. I must be more sure. I must be more certain about it. And I think that's a bad thing. And so what we're going to talk about was, the Justice Department. We're going to talk about what's going on in the administrative branch. And I'm a political nerd, so I'm all into executive overreach and the history of fascism and all that other stuff. But Fearless said, I don't have enough information to form an opinion about it. And so we decided to move away from that topic. But it does bring up the idea that we, as human beings, Americans specifically, we are so addicted to having information. And I almost would say that we're less informed than people were 10, 15 years ago. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that we have access to every piece of information that's pretty much ever been disseminated or published in our hands. And we just take it for granted.
Right.
And so there's layers and levels to it, but that's what my thoughts are on it. And so we're going to have a conversation, but we'll hold off on it until we can find out a little bit more about it. The original conversation we're going to have is what happens with chasing too many ideas, when you have too many passions. And I'm a walking, talking sample of this. I have a lot of pots and I have a lot of plates in the air. And so I've been busy, and it's all been good, productive, money-making activities. But I realized pretty quickly, like, if I ever want to have a weekend off again, if I ever want to have a time where I can take some time off and enjoy myself, I have to pare down what I'm involved in. And so I'm in the process of kind of doing an audit of what I'm working on and what obligations, things I've been paid to do, versus things I really don't have to do, versus things I need to build in order to maintain the life that I want. And it's kind of whittling down, okay, what can I set down?
Right.
And coming to a conclusion like, today, okay, what I need is something from my marketing business, so I can stockpile, get a war chest, stockpile some money so I can focus on building the things that I actually want to do, but have the money to pay for the things that, pay all the expenses and everything. And so I got to lean in and do the client chasing and stuff like that, so I can build out the war chest so that once I have that money set aside, I can actually 100% laser focus in on the creative stuff that I want to do. And, set it up so that my marketing stuff is more on demand. Like, if somebody asks me to do it, I can. It's something I have in my bag, but my money's coming from my creative output. And so right now I'm in that season because I got so much on my plate. Like right now I got to go, when I get home, I got to finish editing this video, which is a business thing. But then I also have a video that I'm editing for my personal channel. That's business as well. And then tonight I have my live stream, which is my fun stuff, but that's kind of my outlet. That's the only thing that's keeping me sane. So I have to finish that. And I'm actually building a little ecosystem there so that can actually grow into something. And so that's kind of where I'm at. And I've been in that mode where I'm doing a bajillion, like I start a bajillion different projects and they're all interesting and they're all money makers and they're all stuff that could be viable. But I have to decide, okay, this is the one I'm going to go put in the backyard for a while. I'm going to let it kind of roam around in the backyard until I can get focus on other things. So that's what we're talking about here.
Okay.
What happens when you have too many different ideas, too many irons in the fire?
Gotcha.
So that's kind of where I'm at.
No, I feel you.
So, and this is for y'all, because here's the thing. I mean, we're trial and error. And my error is the fact that I have too many interests. And it's not that I have too many interests, it's I pursue too many interests because I don't have, like, I want to jump in and do the thing and get my hands dirty and learn the lesson from it. So I don't have a huge filter when it comes to, here's the thing I want to try. Let me go ahead and figure out how I can make this a reality. I have no problem with implementing and executing. My issue is completing.
I like that. So having versus pursuing too many what?
Well, just pursuing too many different activities and too many different interests. You know, I want to be a writer. I want to do podcasting. I like my marketing agency. I'm running this. I'm co-owning the sports business. I do video work for people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm managing this podcast and doing that stuff. I was just on a text exchange with, with the guy I'm podcasting it with, and I kind of told him, hey, I got to jump into this because I think YouTube shadow banned us. And so I have all these different things that I got going on, and I know I'm competent in all these things. You know, and I think maybe that's what it is, where I know how to do all this stuff. You know, I know. It was a jack of all trades, master of none. But then the second part is, but still better than a master of one. And I'm kind of in that boat where I know how to do so many different things and I'm good at so many different things and I'm beneficial to people because I know how to do so many different things. But in my interpersonal life, it gets hard. It can get overwhelming because I feel like I'm committed to all this stuff too. So, and I apologize to my Facebook fam, but y'all ain't seeing me. So maybe I don't need to apologize to y'all anyway. But that's kind of where we're at. And so one of the things is, and I think, for me, there's some cognitive stuff. There's some mental stuff in there for me because I'm ADHD and I have ADHD and I'm prone to this kind of stuff. But even when I was fully medicated, I was still prone to this kind of stuff. And so I think a lot of it has to do with that dopamine hit. You know, sitting down and imagining things is fun. For me, at least. Seeing the possibility, brainstorming and stuff. And so for me, it's figuring out. So Fearless, how would you decide what to put down and what not to, what to keep and what to put down?
So there's a lot of things that I love doing, but talking about books, anything book related, I think that always goes back to the core of who I am. You know, so I think that as a life coach, whatever, I had to figure that out years ago to kind of determine the type of man. Like, again, I wrote up like 5 things that I loved about life. And if it's not based on those 5 things, no thanks. Problem is, like you just said, what happens if that 5 turns into 20?
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with keeping ultimate grade. But there's a few things that if you only had 5, maybe 6, you can't do anything else until these things are done or until you're doing it. It's not gonna work. So that's what I did. Is, man, bro, since we've known each other, books and coaching have been the only things I talk about.
Yeah.
I don't talk about nothing else. Now, do I have other interests? Fuck yes. Those are the only 2 that I talk about. So, and I have a lot of ADHD when it comes to that. I have a lot of obsession when it comes to that. Man, if I'm not reading something, now, here's the thing. I can take breaks in readings. last night I sat down and watched a movie. I'll go play a video game. Hell, a video game I've already beaten multiple times because I have to clear my head.
Right.
So I need that dopamine just from a different source. Not coaching, not looking up stuff, not helping Anya write a book, which we did. Hold on. Get in! Yeah. Bring me Anya's book. What? Bring me Anya's book. All right, hold on. But you know, so we have, like you, have all these other things that I'm doing. Hell, I just hit you up. When was that? A few days ago.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian, hey, man, I need a couple minutes with you. All right, you make time for me. All right, man, what do you need? Jump on right quick. I need you. You jump on, help me figure out my stuff or whatever. But in the meantime, in between time, I'm building logos, I'm building commercials, I'm building intros, I'm building outros. A lot of this shit's based on what you taught me.
Yeah.
Right? So, but again, everything that I do is wrapped around coaching and books. Bro, everything I do. And I can talk about coaching, I can talk about them interchangeably because they go together. You taught me how to structure that stuff, which is ironic because you suck at structuring that stuff for yourself.
Yeah, and I can do it, and that's been the issue.
I'm here, son.
I know. That's the thing. I'm always really good at coaching people on how to do the things that aren't necessary. Because I think part of it is I know so many different frameworks and stuff around structuring that I don't know which one to apply for me. So I can give you one that works for you, but I can't figure out one that works the best for me because it's an amalgamation of different things. And like right now, you were talking about talking about books and stuff like that. For me, one of the big challenges I'm going back and forth with is, hey, what's going on?
Hey, what's up? Did you move on your book?
I did not.
It was in the kitchen.
No, you took it to your room.
Did?
Yes, sir.
So one of the things I'm in the mode of, because I actually met with a coach, it had to be about 2.5 years ago at the time. And he is 100%, like he lives the creative life. Like that's what he does. And that was his industry. Like creative was his job.
Okay.
And so I sat down and did a small meeting with him. And I was talking about all the marketing stuff and things like that. But then I got into comic books and stuff. And his feedback was, you lit up when you start talking about that stuff.
That's it.
He's like, the stuff that's your day job, you were really competent at and you know it really, really well. He's like, but the thing that you are most engaging with is when you're talking about the comic book stuff. And so that's where I'm like, okay, I got to get back into podcasting about comic books. This is a real thing I'm sorting out. I'm letting y'all know this is a real thing I'm sorting out.
Trial and error, man. Go.
So I have my fastest growing audience. It's the smallest audience I have, but it's the most engaged audience I have. And it's a tiny micro audience. But I started my Black Nerd podcast stuff, my live stream that I do every Tuesday night. The clips from that hit harder and get more engagement than just about anything outside of the content I do about ADHD.
Okay.
And they're beating it in a lot of senses. And there's a part of me that says, yeah, I could do this 100%. I could make this my full-time thing. And I would love to make that my full-time thing. My problem is the ramp up to making it where it's a viable stream of income. And so I feel like I can't 100% commit to that because it's not completely built out. It's not generating anything yet. And so I'm almost tied into the marketing stuff that I've been doing almost 15 years and trying to make content around that and getting middling results with some of the stuff. But the stuff that's getting my most impact is the thing that I can't 100% focus on.
Okay.
And so I'm caught in between that. Do I lean harder into the marketing stuff and not get the returns I'm looking for? Or do I lean into the comic book stuff and step off into the unknown? I do have a couple of ecosystems I'm building around the comic book stuff. Where I have my Patreon community where I can get, community support. I can do merch through that and things like that. but I'm still building those pieces out. And so that's what I'm caught up against. I'm trying to figure out how to allocate my time the best, because the thing that's most engaging is the fun stuff. And the way I grew up, the fun stuff was just for fun.
Mhm.
You don't make money off the fun stuff. Do you see what I'm saying? But if I could make money talking about comic book, sci-fi, horror, wrestling, all that stuff, I would do it without hesitation.
Okay. So I hear everything you're saying.
Mhm.
From a coaching standpoint, I look at that, and as you were talking, the one thing that pops into my head, probably more so than anything else, is the same thing that you told me, which was very simple, which is just get the thing started. Like when I told you about the 100 days.
Mhm.
I mean, I had never done that before.
Yeah.
I just had an idea and I just kind of went for it. You know what I mean? And the one thing that, based on what you're talking about, that your idea is lacking, honestly, is compound.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because if you think about every single, like, I watched this black dude, and he had, I don't know if it was a green screen behind him or what, but he was just sitting around talking very simply about comic books.
Mhm.
And he was talking about who was the fastest, who was this, who was that. And he was just going through all these different things. I mean, it looked extremely poorly put together.
Mhm.
I probably watched that shit for an hour.
Yeah.
Just video after video after video. If I'm talking about this and the other. Dude has a follow, probably 500,000 followers, somewhere around there. And I was just watching and watching and watching. So when you're talking about that, I'm like, yeah,
Well,
I see that. I don't know how long he's been doing it.
yeah.
But at the same time, though, if you're sitting there telling me that if that's the one thing that you can do, then I don't see why you don't put every goddamn thing into that.
And that's what I want to do. And that's what
but that's what I'm saying, though. Like, that's the difference between that's what I want to do and that's what I'm going to do.
Well, and so okay. So the second part of it is, I want to do it. I have to build. I have to scramble enough money up enough so that I can do that.
I got you.
And so, that's the season I'm in now. That's why I'm taking on so many different things, because I'm trying to sock away and stockpile enough money so that I can 100% lean into that. Because the content I'm doing, and I'll be transparent with y'all, the content I'm doing is basically, it's called Blurting While Dad. And so it's observations of a black nerd who's a dad. And so I'll do some parenting stuff that I know from working with families and stuff. And people respond. They're responding to the mix of comic books, parenting stuff, occasionally some political stuff, and just being a black dad. Like they're connecting with that, and I'm getting good responses with it. And so in order to make this viable, I have to focus on something that's not necessarily connected to it, so that I can scramble up the money so that I can 100% pour myself into this thing. Because so now you see where I'm at right now. So I'm caught in between. I have to do the stuff for my day job to make this side thing super viable. But because I can't lean 100% into this side thing, I feel like I'm shortchanging it to a degree, because I can't, because I still got to do stuff to make money.
Gotcha.
Until it can make money by itself. Because some of the biggest channels on YouTube I follow, like Comics Explained, so all he does is sit there and talk about comic books and the latest issues and stuff. And I know for a fact that he's dealt with mental health stuff where he's mentally burnt himself out and dealing with depression and stuff like that.
Who's this?
Comics Explained. He talks about it occasionally, where he's had to take sabbaticals and stuff because he's constantly reading comic books and talking about them. So I know that there's another side to it, but he's built a system that pays for his life, you know, and he doesn't really sell a heck of a whole lot. It's just, you know, he has enough viewers where the AdSense checks, the Google checks make, and all he has to do is every once in a while have a, you know, a t-shirt or something, or do a meet and greet, and he can, you know, supplement whatever. I just want to make enough so it's a decent side income. And then once it becomes a viable side income, then I can say, okay, if I can put this much energy and get a side income off of it, what does it look like when I put my full-time energy into it? So for those that don't know, I'm kind of sorting it out, but yeah, that's the dichotomy I'm caught in between. How much of myself do I budget for this versus how much of myself do I budget for that?
So when it comes to like, God, unfortunately, I have to use myself. So when it comes to like reading, for instance, right? There's sometimes that I don't read anything for a while, right? And then there's sometimes where, hey, where's that book?
I have no idea at all.
Find it. So it's like, so sometimes I don't read anything.
Yeah.
Care less, right?
Right.
And then there would come a time like I read 30 some books and you know, in a very short period of time. Right?
Uh-huh.
I don't know why. I get into moods that, right? But I also know burnout too. When I'm just like, no, I'm good. I'm not gonna read anymore for a little bit. But my body tells me when it's time to do it. My interest, my curiosity, my obsession tells me when it's time. I have, as you know, over 1,000 books in my house.
Right.
I literally have a whole entire library here. Most of the time, I don't know what I'm going to read next. I have an idea, but I might be downstairs looking at our game shelf. I might look over and see this book. I'm like, oh man, that looks good. Grab that, and that's the next one I'm going to read. And then that book takes me down this whole journey of shit that, you know what I mean? Of other stuff that I want to read now or want to know about. I'll read 3 or 4 of those books and then I'm done for a little bit. So for you, you're stuck. It seems like you kind of have this thing where you're kind of stuck between making money and following your passion, right? Like for myself, I do obviously both because my lifestyle allows me to do both. For you, it's a little harder because those two things, they can't be intertwined. One is here, one is there. But even if you're doing just a little bit over here with the comic stuff, even if you took 45 minutes or an hour every day just to put towards making a video specifically for that, and then you still have, 8, 9, 10 hours for making money over here on the side, there you go.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and then you don't want to burn yourself out either.
Right.
Which is what's his name, Comics Explain. So he did, because like, damn, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's a danger of taking what it is that you're taking your passion and trying to get into a business.
Right.
I love to read. Whether I'm on camera or not, I love to read. But just not all the time.
Yeah.
It's not like I said, I think a couple of weeks ago I sat down, I read 2 books in one day. From start to finish. 2 books. 4 entire books in one day. And then as soon as I was done, I went to go play a video game for a while.
Mhm.
Or I'll go do something else. So your thing for me would be to cut those times in half. Not even in half. Just put this thing over here, put that in. But if you're putting an hour into that,
Mhm.
make an hour be like 2 hours for this.
Yeah.
If I'm listening to a book on tape, I don't listen to that shit on 1 MPH or whatever. I'll listen to it on 2.5, or 3, depending on the book. I'll get through that book quick, pop, make my notes, move on to the next one. You know, so it's trial and error, but it's a quick trial and error. One of the things when I built the 2 Dads in a Bookstore, bro, I would fuck up constantly. Like all the time I would mess up. I would get a system
Mhm.
and I would fuck it up, and I'll take notes on what I did.
Mhm.
By the time I had that thing for like a month, boy, I knew that damn system inside and out. Because I messed up on it so many times. And then my partner would be like, how did you learn this so quick? Because I messed up on it.
Yeah.
Constantly. On purpose. I intentionally shit on the system. So I would know how to fix it. And there was a bunch of times I can just walk a person through
Right.
how to fix it because I messed up enough.
And that's kind of where, like, I'm in this, like, and that I think what you hit a thing, because like today's my live stream day, so I'll do this. I'm gonna go home and download this one, and we got to talk about the Opus thing. I got to talk about something happening with
Okay.
Opus, but go home and download it and get it ready for clipping and stuff, and then eat lunch, work on some work related stuff, money making stuff, and then go pick up the kids and then come back and start getting ready for my nighttime live stream.
Gotcha.
And then I'll live stream for about an hour or two.
For what? What do you do?
And the live stream that's my weekly thing, like my weekly comic books. That's my weekly outlet kind of thing. And that's the thing that's keeping me sane, because one of the things about burnout with me, and I've actually learned this through trial and error, is when I hit my level of burnout, that means I go even harder. I push myself even harder. So then I get into it where I go from regular burnout to I don't know, the whatever the highest level of burnout is, where my where my nervous system is about to shut down on something, and then I'm like, ooh, I need to step off the ledge. And so I know when I get to burnout, that's when I actually start grinding. That's when I start pushing myself harder. And so I have to be able to recognize the call and say, okay, it's time to step back off the ledge here.
Yeah, stop.
But that's always how it's been, because even when I was because I had been long time in my career, I was a supervisor. And I was supervising a 24-hour staff 7 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have those gaps to take off,
Mm-hmm.
Because even if I was having the day off, the program I was running was so different than the other programs, with the dynamics and the milieu that I had to manage, that I was still connected. Like, I would still take calls on a day off, because there were specific things that I knew how to de-escalate. It wasn't like I kept all the recipes in my book by myself. I shared as much as I could with my staff, but there's certain things that only I could do in terms of de-escalating specific kids and things like that, and navigating specific situations with the court system. And so I was always connected, and I never really put that down. I was on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for almost 15 years.
Oh, wow.
And so I have a really hard time disconnecting. And so even when I burnt out when I was doing that, I was still working. My day off, I'm still working. I'm still fielding calls, kid soccer game, phone rings, got to answer it, and the family knew what I was doing. They knew that, it was my program, and my name is written on this, but that wasn't healthy for me either. And so I am trying to unlearn that unhealthy pattern of I have to grind through. Like right now, my birthday is, I think, Thursday. And I'm planning my work day on Thursday. And it's like, no, it's your birthday, fool. Take the day off. Nobody's gonna die if you take the day off on
Right.
Thursday. But I'm planning out. I mapped it. Like I looked at my calendar and I have my stuff all mapped out for Thursday. Like I'm working. It's very difficult for me to step away when I lock in on something that I say I want to do. And so that's the balance right now. Like I really enjoy like it's when I tell you guys my live stream is a release and outlet for me, that's the thing that's keeping me sane. To the point like last week on our anniversary, my wife's like, I gotta go do my hair. Go get on your live stream. Because this is something that puts you in a better peace of mind to do it.
Okay.
So it's good, but I just got to figure out, like I said, for me with the marketing agency and stuff, I have to figure out exactly what I want to do that doesn't take over my entire.
All right, good.
So that's kind of where I'm at, man. And like I said, I just got to find the thing because right now, the meeting I was in before I came over here, it was more or less me and somebody else putting our heads together and saying, all right, how can we make a whole lot of money in a little bit of time so we can step off and do the things that we want to do?
Mm-hmm. Like Charlie Munger said, pay your future days.
Yep.
Off, yeah.
And so that's literally, and so I'm actually doing it. It's just I'm in the mix of it. And a lot of times when you're in the middle of the jungle hacking away, it's hard to see the goal. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm in jungle time, trying to hack away and get through this jungle and figure out exactly what I'm going to do in my marketing agency.
Okay.
Because I can teach people how to do it.
Indeed.
I know I can teach people how to do it. Is this what I want to do forever? Or do I want to build out something where I can turn on the camera, sit down and talk about why, like I just listened to, and I'm buying it. I actually have it pre-ordered. I just listened to the new Absolute Batman issue number 12. It's one of the most incredible comics I've ever read in my life. Literally, the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
From the storytelling perspective on how the comics laid out and everything. And the narrative they're flipping on the characters. I can talk about that stuff all day. That gives me life and energy. I want to be able to talk about that stuff and still get paid to do it. And I know there's a path to do it. It's not pie in the sky.
Nah.
Like right now, I was telling at the meeting I was at, I'm sitting there talking to people. I'm like, Kai Snet turns on his camera. He just has, sometimes he'll have guests, celebrity guests that stop through. Other times it's just him just talking and playing video game stuff. The kid's making like $3 million a month. But it's not easy.
Yeah.
Like people think the kid streaming is just easy. It's not easy. He has a whole production team. He probably goes through bouts of burnout where he doesn't want to turn that camera on. There are times where he just disappears off the face of the earth.
Right.
And he's always traveling and doing stuff. I mean, he's basically living the rock star life because that's what the streamers are now. They're out earning the rappers.
It's crazy.
So it's a reality. I don't have to be at that level. It's going to sound crazy. Give me $30 a month. I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? At this point, if this stream gets up to $5,000 a month, I'm happy. Like I'm over the moon. And so I think there's a lane for it. And like I said, I think that's the audience that's the most responsive and build it out and see what happens with it.
Can't you just get a sponsorship to do all that?
You can, but in order to obtain a sponsor, you have to have the audience to do it because sponsors aren't going to pay you money when you don't have an audience. Like when you don't have a big enough audience, because really it's the old television, the way that they used to sell ads on TV. Like the reason why Super Bowl ads are expensive, they're cheap compared to what they should cost. But the reason why Super Bowl ads are expensive is because
everybody's watching it.
Yeah, because it's one of the most watched events in America, and so they know that if they put their ad on at that time it's going to get in front of that many eyeballs. The thing that's happening right now is we're seeing a hard pivot away, because I even talked about how Super Bowl ads, people aren't even watching those anymore. They're skipping past them. And what's happening is,
Really?
yeah, because we have an entire generation of kids that are now adults that they never had to watch commercials. They always had the option to skip them.
Mm.
You should see my kids when we're sitting there watching over-the-air television. Like if I'm just watching something on regular TV that's not connected to the internet or something, and a commercial comes on, they're like, skip this. I can't. Why not? Because it's live. It's happening right now. Well, I mean, I watch X, Y, and Z, and you can just skip the commercials. Well, that's not how the world works. But for them, they never have to see a commercial if they know. We had to sit down. I had to get on my daughter's case because when she was in like 3rd grade, she found out if I put my phone in airplane mode while I'm watching this video, it won't show me any commercials.
Say it one more time.
When my daughter was in 3rd grade, she figured out if I put my phone into airplane mode while I'm watching this video, it will not show me any commercials. And so she's been doing that since she's been little. And then we're calling her like, why aren't you? I didn't hear my phone ring. Was it in airplane mode? Yeah.
Oh.
So the kids they dislike commercials so much that they instinctively scroll by them. And so now what we're running into is that entire agencies, entire arms of marketing departments are finding themselves in a crunch because they can make this content for commercials, but ain't nobody watching them, and they're not driving the numbers that they want. But the things that are driving numbers is like the Ocean Spray ad with dog face. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. The reason why that commercial worked, this is kind of way off topic, but it is what it is.
Apropos.
The reason why that ad worked is because it's not interruption based. It's not interrupting your scroll. It's content that you want to watch. And so, excuse me. Oops.
Wow.
Are we on or you just muted?
I just muted.
So it's more or less the reason why because it's called interruption-based marketing, right? Interruption-based marketing is a commercial interrupts your normal viewing. We're moving away from that. And so now the ads are content that you want to see that you will not scroll past because it doesn't look like an ad.
Okay.
Doesn't sound like an ad, doesn't ask you to do anything, it just shows whatever product is product placement. So they're showing dog face. So the concept is showing the ads in stream and making it not something that's outside of what people are watching. And so now you're seeing more narrative-based ads or ads where somebody's talking directly to camera, where they're getting right to this is what the issue is. And it's supposed to be humorous. It looks like a meme. And so that's kind of what we're into right now. And so now people having to re-visualize the way that they do marketing. And I'm kind of in that mode now too, because I'm trying to teach businesses, hey, the thing that you thought was going to work, that you're trying to copy Coca-Cola, well, one, stop, because you can't copy Coca-Cola because Coca-Cola has money Coca-Cola can drop $30 million on an ad campaign that completely fails, and they haven't lost a point 0.00000001 of their budget total. And so they're fine with that. You, on the other hand, you can't spend $3,000 on this if it doesn't convert for you.
Right.
And so I'm trying to teach businesses, hey, people want to see what you do behind the scenes. They want to see you working.
Right.
They want to see what your staff does behind the scenes. People sit there and watch videos about people rebuilding car engines. I do. People
like rich rebuilds.
Yeah, all that stuff. People laying concrete stuff, all that stuff. People want to see people doing their jobs. They want to see what it looks like behind the scenes in the kitchen. They want to see. They don't want the big pretty presentation cooking videos. They want to see what an actual kitchen looks like, an industrial kitchen where people are actually working. They want to see the behind the scenes video of making the video of this. And so it's trying to teach people that's the connection and that's the audience you're chasing nowadays.
Right.
And unfortunately, and it's not just local. There's a lot of business, smaller businesses that don't understand that's going to be the thing that separates them in the market space. So that was all about marketing, and that had nothing to do with what we're talking about. But again,
That has everything to do.
that's something that, as you guys can see, I can talk about this stuff all day, and that's what my problem is.
It's not a problem.
I can talk to you about comic books. I can talk to you about that.
Okay, I'm going. So merge the two together.
Yeah, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe I build out this. Maybe I build this out.
So what specifically are we talking about building out?
That's what I'm saying. Maybe I build out. Maybe I spend some time, allocate more of my time to building out the fun thing, and put a marketing system around it, and then teach people the marketing system I put around that thing. And that's my day job.
I mean, dude, it's all the same shit.
Yeah.
It's just what are you? I mean, and again, if you could take something and I don't mean to be mean or insensitive about it, but if you take something so trivial as comic books and you blow that up, what the fuck can't you blow up?
Right. That's what I'm saying. And that's what my thing is. I understand it's trivial, but I also don't see it as trivial because it's my interest. But I understand that for most people don't care that.
Bro, sitting around reading fucking fictional
Yeah.
books about fucking kids, like YA type shit, to everybody else is just boring as fuck. But there's a whole group of people who tune in to watch that shit.
Well, I mean, and it depends on what your interests are, because a lot of the marketing stuff that I think is so important is absolute frivolous bullshit to somebody else.
That part.
And so for them, they don't really care about how the sausage is made. But there's a dedicated group of people that do. I remember, when I was in college. When I was in college, I was a DJ, and I'm sitting there in the student center talking to a friend about DJ equipment. I'm kind of scrolling because the back of the Source magazine used to have classified ads where you can get DJ equipment for. And so I'm sitting there like, well, I want to get this. And one of the girls I grew up with, she's like, who the fuck cares about this? Why do y'all care about? Who cares about it? My boy looked there, he's like, he's a DJ. So he cares about DJ equipment. And she was like she couldn't wrap her mind around it that I cared about something that she didn't.
That makes sense.
And that's just one of those things. And so this is a hyper level awareness. This stuff is fascinating to me. It could absolutely be boring as shit to anybody else.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that's kind of where I'm at. And that actually helped out Fearless, because because there's a guilt. Like for me, there's a guilt where I'm sitting there, I'm having a good time. I'm sitting there talking about comic books, sitting there talking about wrestling. I did an entire segment about that crack ad that Pee Wee Herman did.
Oh, nice.
Like an entire segment about that and the DARE program and how they used to talk to us about drugs and stuff when we were kids. The entire segment, I had a great time doing it. That's one of my biggest videos. People responded to that little segment. And I actually felt guilty, like, well, damn, why didn't you put this into this marketing video?
Well, are you doing this again tonight?
Yeah.
What time?
7:00. It's around 7:15, depending on, because normally I have to pick up, if I'm not running around shuttling kids around, I'm on by 7:15.
Is this on Facebook?
Yeah, I normally do it on it's on Facebook, YouTube, and stuff like that. And so tonight I have my biggest segment is probably going to be a political one, talking about RFK and the way that our public health policy and mental health and stuff. And then I'm having another segment about DC Comics and the absolute DC line and stuff like that. And so those are the two main segments I'm talking about. Last week was what was last week? Last week, I think it was. I was revisiting something. Anyway, so I get on there and I talk about this stuff, like Black communities in red states.
Okay.
Like Well, actually, that's the one. I was going to say for this week. So, I was talking about Jubilee, the Jubilee video, because my StreamYard failed me mid live stream and cut me off. So I had to revisit. I had to redo an entire hour of my live stream from the week before.
Gotcha.
But I was talking about Jubilee, the Jubilee video with Amanda Seals.
Oh, yeah.
And Amanda Seals versus 20 black conservatives, but they're not necessarily black conservatives because, yeah, anyway. And so it was her versus 20 black conservatives. And the whole concept was I got into 15 minutes in and I'm like, I can't watch this anymore. And it turned out.
She was getting, yeah.
She was getting blitzed with the most ignorant, like some of the most ignorant ahistorical, like the stuff they were saying on that was wildly in. Here's the thing. If me and you can't agree on, like if we can fundamentally disagree about stuff, right? But if we can't agree on a shared vision of what actually is reality, what's objectively, like this table is solid. Like if I can't agree with you on this table is solid, we can't talk. We can't have a dialogue. And so that's one of the things that was pissing me off because I'm sitting there and she's sitting there talking to this young man. I think I told you about this. She's sitting there talking to this young man about redlining. And he's like, I don't believe in that. And she's like, well, how do you not believe in it? Here's historical evidence that this existed. Here's documentation, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I don't believe in that. And I turned it off. I said, I can't. I'm done.
Right.
It was about 15 minutes and I said, fuck this, I'm done. I can't. Right. I can't because you can't debate somebody who doesn't believe in reality. And I know reality is just life from your perspective, but there are certain things that are just objectively a reality. Redlining is an objective reality. It's a thing that actually happened. Insurance companies and banks.
It happened.
Yeah. Actively happening. It's happening right now. There's documented proof that this is a thing that exists that goes on. And
or gerrymandering, same thing.
If you can't, like, if you're saying I don't believe in that, so you don't believe in oxygen. So you're telling me if I don't believe in oxygen, so what are you breathing right now? Right. Mix of hydrogen and oxygen. So if you don't believe in oxygen, so what do you stop breathing? What do you do? How do you function and so for me, that would have been when I got up and left. Like, I can't. Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and argue with somebody that doesn't believe in. The conversation is over if you don't believe in a set reality. You know, remember the entire water is wet thing.
The what?
Oh, this is one of those really stupid social media things.
What is it called? Water is wet. What about it?
Well, they have people debating water is not wet. Water makes things wet. And that was actually an entire conversation. Like, people were arguing. They were losing friends behind it. No, motherfucker, water isn't wet. And people were like, what are you talking about? Like, they reevaluating their entire friendship. Flat Earth, the flat Earth theory and stuff like that. People will fight you to the ground on that stuff. If I can't come up with if we don't meet eye to eye on an objective standard of reality, then we can't have a conversation. I'm mature enough to realize that nowadays. Used to be, I would sit there and fight you to the ground, like, what you believe isn't real and blah, blah, blah. I don't do that no more. I don't believe in redlining. Okay. Be easy, man. We ain't having this conversation.
Right.
I believe the earth is flat.
Cool.
Good, man. You go ahead with that. I'm not even going to fight you. Because if that's our starting point, then our ending point isn't going to be anywhere better. Because next thing you're going to be telling me there are dragons, the dragons flying around in the sky abducting people and stuff. Like, I'm not doing all that, bro. So we're far afield. I'm going back to my outline here.
No, I mean, but again, it's all part of trial and error, like I keep telling you.
Yep.
It's all part of the same thing. So, what have you gotten from our discussion today?
I think the thing I'm taking away is there's nothing wrong with, if I can lean into the fun stuff and actually monetize it, I don't need to feel guilty about it. And being aware that I am tiptoeing on burnout and understanding I might have to step off the ledge a little bit. That's what I'm picking up from. That's what it helped me talk through, because I needed to actually talk through some of this stuff and understand where some of this stuff in my mind comes from. And a lot of it comes from when I have a parent like my mom. She never stopped working. Breast cancer diagnosis, got a bad staph infection. She almost died. I could walk into her hospital room. She's sitting up in her bed, making notes and making phone calls, working on something. Brian, I got to start a breast cancer support group. There's none for Black women. I'm gonna start one. That's what she was working on. She almost died that morning with a staph infection, and her port, right, when they're doing the chemo, her port got infected. She got a staph infection. She almost died. And hours later, she's up working on stuff. She never stopped working. But it was her passion, though. That's the crazy part. It was her job, and I wish I could find the thing where it's her job and her passion was community health. And so that's where I got it from. You just keep going.
I mean, we have this. We have this belief system, this unhealthy belief, I think, that when we find something that we're passionate about, even to death, we're not, if you will, because we feel so viscerally strong about something. But nobody says, can you imagine going to an ant or to a bee and saying, you work too hard?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, an ant and a bee knows exactly who it's working for. It has no qualms about that. I work for that of the queen, period. There ain't nothing else to discuss. Now, everything that I do is in the commission of making her happy. And it's for everybody else. That's why you'll never see an ant eaten by itself. Ever. Because they're not bred that way. They're bred for the whole entire colony. Even if what I'm doing, y'all may not understand it. It ain't made for y'all to understand. As long as my colony and my queen gets it, fuck everybody else.
Yeah.
That's how bees look at it. That's how ants look at things. I know because I own an ant farm. My ant farm, it only required one thing: food and water. It did. You think I gave a fuck what my ants prayed to? Do you think I cared about if any of them were president or not? I don't give a shit. Here's your food, here's your water. Just let me watch you for a little bit. I'm bored. Right? We're always getting in people's asses about following their passions. But we gotta stop that. And like you like, whenever I start talking about comics, whenever I start talking about this, I light up. I love that. Motherfucker can say less. Ain't nothing else to discuss.
Yeah.
The objective now, take that marketing, take your comic shit, and forge your lane. Ain't nothing else to discuss. I love reading. I love coaching. Because I like to read so much, that it makes me a great fucking coach. But I also like to think that I'm a great coach because I love to expand my thinking. I read everything. You know this.
Yeah.
I rarely read business books anymore. I do every so often, but for me, fuck it.
That's what I want to get back.
I want to back here. A Starring Messenger, one of my favorite. The Courage to Be Happy. Fucking, did you know that Forrest Gump, there was actually a part 2?
Well, I knew there was a second. I knew there was a second book.
The Heart's Invisible Fear is a great one. I need to read these. This is one of my best favorite books I've ever read. Dopamine Nation. Eric Fromm, or whatever. I mean,
I have the Mike McCallow's books. I got a couple of his.
I mean, come on, man. Fucking, I got shit from all over the place.
I think
What?
I wish I grew up and see this. I think this is a generational thing, bro. Because when we grew up, you had your fun stuff that you did for fun, and then you had your work. And when you got off work, you had your fun. Now, people can make their fun into their business,
Mhm.
and the kids just connect. I like playing video games. All right, well, set up a live, put us up a webcam. Let's build an audience. Let's do some basic marketing principles, and now I have a viable business that's centered around playing video games. And for me, that disconnect is really, really hard. Like I know it exists, and I know it's possible, but it is hard for me to sit down and envision. Like I can envision a life that I want, but there's difference. And this is one thing that I do. This is one thing I got to take issue with a lot of the psycho babble people, where it's like if you can envision it, you can achieve it. A lot of times, I have to be able to invest and believe in the thing that I can envision a lot of different things. I have to believe that this is a path that's viable, that's going to pay the bills for me and my family, right? And so it's really hard, and I know it's possible, and I've seen people do it. It's hard for me to put myself in that seat. And so that's the process I'm on right now, where I'm trying to I visualize the outcome I want, but I actually have to put myself in the driver's seat of that and not be the passenger of it.
Mhm.
And so that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I would love to be able to just build an entire ecosystem around comics and comic books and parenting and just personality driven kind of internet content.
So like, yeah, and I think that in a lot of cases, the reason why I think that I look at things the way that I do is because like I was telling people before, I like to collect excuses.
Mhm.
But I need the best ones. I need the good ones. But the biggest excuse that I've heard, the biggest myth that I've heard is that we have enough time.
Yeah, we don't.
We have enough time. In 10 years, how old will you be?
56 or 55.
See what I mean?
Mhm.
See what I mean?
Yeah. And that's what I'm like, I want to get it. That's why I'm like, it's going to be all stream hit. Here's the thing. It was a big deal for me to actually say Tuesday nights is going to be my live stream night. And I'm actually creating a channel for this.
Okay.
And posting content regularly on my TikTok.
Even watching me
Mhm.
do 100 fucking nights. Well, you know,
But that was one of the things I said. If Fearless can do it, if he can commit 100 nights, but
100 nights
I can do
for a different subject.
I can do it. I was like, if he can do it for 100 nights, I can do it for one.
I still have PTSD from that.
Yeah.
Shit.
But that's what I'm saying. If Fearless can do it for 100 nights, I can dedicate one night to this thing that I love to do and I've been itching to want to talk about. And so that's why I'm saying it's literally the only thing keeping me sane with all the other stuff I got going on.
Is what?
Is getting on that live stream and talking about that stuff. Is being able to disconnect and sit down and say, oh, new Batman dropped, I can listen to it and I'm going to talk about it tonight. Which it did and I am. I might be spoiling it because it dropped overseas, and so I read the one that's overseas. I'm getting the American version, but it's on pre-order till tomorrow.
Okay.
But I'm actually going to sit down and listen. I'm actually going to sit down and talk about it. And I might spoil some of the stuff, but that's the thing that's keeping me clocked in, man. Because otherwise, I'd be so far. I would have, if I didn't have this, I probably would have burnt my marketing agency to the ground, 100% focused on the basketball business, because that's the thing that's actually making me money. You know, and there's still part of me where I'm like, if I can 100% lean in on that and set that as a thing that's working on the side, that's something I can dedicate part of my business, my work life to, and the rest of it goes to my personal interest, then I would do that. I just got clients from a marketing agency, so I can't not do that. I can't just drop them and continue on because, you know, it's like we're on time-based contracts. There's stuff that I've committed for.
Okay.
So it is what it is, y'all. Thanks for listening to me ramble about that.
No, man. I mean, whatever we can do to kind of help guide us in the direction that we need to go. Like I said, man, I think that we sometimes think that things are way more complicated than we make things more complicated than it needs to be.
Right.
Like, I mean, we can sit and watch people all day long on YouTube and Facebook and IG and TikTok do all these things, and then we think, man, I can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not that you can do it, you won't do it. It's a difference.
Well, and there's a part of me, since I know the marketing side of it, I don't like the idea of being a consumer of social media and consuming it and not making money off of it.
Okay.
Because I figure if I'm going to invest time on this, because I have to for my business, I'm going to make some money off of it. And so I told my homegirl the other day, I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to see what coins I can squeeze out of TikTok now that Facebook done cut me a check.
There you go.
Facebook cut me a check. Now I'm seeing what coins I can squeeze out of TikTok.
Bro, come on, man. Stop playing.
And I had to put on that because it's harder for me to actually be a consumer of social media because I know what this is. Oh, this is outrage-based content. They made this just to piss people off. This is a fake argument. This is a skit. They're just trying to piss people off because pissed off people will share this with other people that they want to piss off. Hey, look at this bullshit. You see this bullshit? Look at this bullshit. Oh, this is some bullshit. This is bullshit. This just sent me. And so I'm sending this bullshit to somebody else. They can talk to me. Oh, it's bullshit. And that's what the entire ecosystem is. And so I tell friends that, like, you sit down and you ingest content that pisses you off on a daily basis. And then you sit around and talk about how miserable your social media experience is. My social media experience is comic books and some political stuff. And, like, you know, black kids doing awesome things. That's what my content, that's what my social media feed is, because that's the stuff I share and engage with.
Yep.
And so my algorithm has that in it. And I don't have to worry about all this negative black outrage based content, because that's what a lot of it is. And they've learned that they can serve that to black folks and we respond to it and share it. You know, negative fight videos.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Fight videos, somebody acting a fool in public and stuff like that. We share that kind of stuff because it outrages us. And we're trying to get somebody to, we have to show how terrible this thing is. And when you do that, you inform your algorithm that, hey, this person will share this content, give it more of it. And it's like, so your content, so you keep responding to things that you hate. And the reason why, and as a result, Facebook shows you more of the things that you don't like.
Right.
So anyway, I appreciate y'all tuning in and listening to this rant, y'all. It was a little bit unstructured, but that's cool. I hope you guys got something out of it. Hopefully, listen, I don't know what StreamYard's doing. Hopefully this stuff is showing on, make sure it's showing on your Facebook.
It's not.
Not showing on your Facebook either?
No.
So hopefully we'll just have to repost this and y'all see it when we see it, man. You have anything, Fearless?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, any action you want them to take, anything you need them to do?
I think I'm gonna start doing Sunday nights. Read with Fearless.
Okay.
I think we're gonna go back to doing that Sunday nights at 7:00. Bring your books. Bring your curiosity.
It's the book club, right? Is this?
We can make it a book club.
Okay.
But yeah, yep. So we're gonna do Read with Fearless. Where we're talking about our favorite words, the books that we're reading.
Mm-hmm.
We're just gonna have some fun with that.
Good.
So that's what we're gonna start doing. And for coaching, hit me up or whatever if you need help with clarity. That's what I do. So accountability, clarity, helping you to get your boundaries in order. Hit me up, man. This is what I do. But if I'm not doing that, we're gonna talk about books because I'm gonna make books sexy. Matter of fact, I want to show you. Can I show you what I did for Miss Tanya?
Yep.
Hey, Miss Tanya.
Well, I'm pulling that up. I can kind of run it down to y'all what I got going on. So I have the Unstuck Session School community. Still building it out, y'all, but really it takes you from ideation of a business or some ideas or what your work experience is and gives you a fully fleshed out business that you can actually run and execute. And so it's really meant to take you from the beginning to the end. And then I also have a drawer because it's called the Marketer's Toolkit. And so it actually has a drawer in there that is templates and marketing stuff that you can utilize. Right now, the price I think is $9 a month. I'm trying to keep it low to get y'all in, and so y'all can kind of see the value of it. But I'm not going to keep it there forever. So jump on in wherever you see this. I'm gonna put the link in the description. And of course, I'm still doing my Tuesday night live streams where I talk about parenting, comic books, and whatever else pops in my head. And so I would really appreciate to see y'all there. I think. The video I'm working on now is kind of in the vein of what Fearless have been doing. But last week I did a live stream about the top.
Hey, tell him to stop.
The
Okay.
I was doing the top 10 business books that I've read, and plus has a couple honorable mentions. I'm editing that video now, so that should be going live here on my socials in the next 48 hours or so. And so check that out. But really, it's me taking the business books and marketing books and cognitive science books that help me out and sharing them with y'all. And I have some recommendations. It might be an ongoing feature because I've read like over 250 of these things. And I've gotten to a point where I can kind of determine, hey, this is a good book. Hey, this book kind of sucks. And I base it on how actionable the information is. If I can actually utilize it for something, if you can sit down, open this book up and learn how to do something, then it's actionable. And so that's what I base it off of. So that's what I got coming up on my channels. The comic book channel is Blurting While Dad. And then Unstuck Sessions, Marketer's Toolkit is the other one. So that's what I got coming up.
Well, we appreciate that, kind sir. Not dang, hold on. Trying to switch the account.
And so, guys, the reality is we kind of went on and on about this thing.
We did.
But it's cool because here's the thing. Y'all don't have to you could chase your passions as long as you make sure that you're allocating the time for it. You know, and your passions can be your real life stuff. Oh, well, that it's shown on YouTube at least.
It's shown on YouTube.
You know, you don't have to feel guilty about it. I think that's one of the things I learned is I don't have to feel guilty about chasing my passions. I just got to figure out a way to make them things put money in my pocket. That's what we're working on now. Miss Agnes wrote a book, and so that's what Fearless is pulling up here.
Yeah, that's we'll just pull up.
Why don't you do you have the Amazon link for it?
You know, actually, yes. Hold on, let me find it.
I've got copies.
Oh, go grab a copy.
Yeah, they're
She left them at home.
Okay.
You can type my first name and last name. It will appear right in front of you, and the price is on the bottom. And you can order it anytime. They're still in stock until it goes out. I will be writing my second book in like 8 weeks.
All right.
Yeah. My boyfriend. I gave one to my boyfriend, and it's right over there. Right there. That is
Okay,
my
where's our... Where are we at? Oh, because we're over here.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna grab my stuff anyway. Any minute. So
All right, people, this is Nathania's book, Ghost Stories,
volume 1.
Volume 1. I didn't put that on here, but
It's fun.
well, that's what we'll do for the next one.
Yeah, this is gonna be the second volume.
So so this is what we have been working on.
So why don't you go ahead and copy and paste, like go to the Amazon link, go to Amazon and just copy and paste the link and drop it in the chat.
There's the link already.
Yeah.
I gave one to my mother.
Oh, that's a long link.
Isn't it?
We can try it. I don't know if it's going to get all that.
What about, don't we have a copy?
There should be a share button on there.
Where's that?
I'm looking for it. Scroll up. There it
There
is.
it is.
Copy link and then just paste it in there. So the link's in the chat, guys. So
Put it right here.
yep. There it is. Link's in the chat. Go check it out, guys.
Yeah, go, please. Grab Miss Anya's book. We worked really hard on that.
Yep.
Not really, but still go get it anyway.
still in stock until it goes out. I will
So
be ready in sometime November.
awesome.
Yeah, so boom. All right, people, man, we will see you guys next Tuesday. So hopefully we'll have our shit kind of figured out, dude.
Yeah, we'll figure out the StreamYard thing. I'll go home and kind of figure out why my stuff isn't connecting, but I do think
Mine didn't either.
it's a Facebook issue with StreamYard. So,
Is it?
like I said, I think that StreamYard's not making his case right now. So that's all we got, guys. We're not going to beat you over the head with it, but sometimes you got to see how the sausage is made. I'm Brian.
Fearless.
We'll talk to y'all later. Peace.
Deuces. All right, so we should hit our thing.
Yep.
Hit our Dougie.